By the end of this video, you're going to know the best way to pay your credit card bill to increase your credit score, because most people think you just pay by the due date, but that's technically only partially correct because there's secret dates on your credit report and, most importantly, on your credit card bill that control how much your score goes up or down every single month. I wish I knew this way earlier because my score would have been an 800 a lot quicker. So by the end of this, you're going to know those exact dates, you're going to know an exact game plan, and most importantly, something you can use today to help skyrocket your credit score without spending any extra money than you're probably spending right now. Starting off with proof using my own credit card statement, because I believe that proof is the most important, way more important than just talking with words. Starting off with my Chase Sapphire Reserve statement that you can see right behind me. And technically this one is a perfect example because of this number right here, which I'll teach you about in just a second. So remember, there's 3 important dates, starting off with the first one that everyone probably is only going to focus on, which is the payment due date. And yes, this one's important because this one is the one that you want to pay by to avoid any late fees. Late fees are not good, and most importantly, this one is going to come anywhere from 20 to 25 days after your statement closing date. Don't come for me, it could be different for everyone in the comments, which is why we're going to go through this step by step. Date number 2 would be the statement opening date, which, as you can see on mine, would be February 18th. Think of this date as the date that the billing cycle starts, and it has no correlation to the first of the month. Everyone's could be different, so you have to check yours to find out what yours is right here. And date number 3, as fate would have it, would be the statement closing date, and that's the date that the billing cycle technically ends. And you could see here, mine is March 17th, 2026. Remember that date because it's super important for the next part. And the statement closing balance is the big one because this is the exact date that the credit card company, in my example it would be Chase Bank, adds everything up, they close out the billing period, and most importantly, they take a screenshot of what I've spent. You can see mine is a few $100, and that's what they report to the credit bureaus. But we can't stop there because here's the big problem that everyone's making and the actual problem that's probably killing your credit score. And you're probably thinking, well, Nick, if I pay my credit card on the due date, why do any of these other dates actually matter? And how does it actually control if my score is going to go up or down? Well, I'm happy you asked because let me break it down. So let's say you have a credit card with a $10,000 credit limit. Let's keep it simple. Let's call the statement open date January 1st. Let's call the statement closing date January 31st. And let's call the due date, again, it's going to be 25 to 25 days after the statement closing date. Let's call yours, for the sake of the example, February 22nd. And remember, your dates are going to be different, so always make sure to check your credit card statement on the banking's app, website, or on the paper statement if you do get any sort of paper mail. Now let's say during January gas is super expensive, you spend $5,000. Now remember, your overall credit limit is going to be $10,000, which is technically the max you could spend on that card at one time. And on January 31st, which remember is the date the credit card company is going to take a screenshot of the credit card balance because that's the statement closing date, is going to be $5,000. And that's the date that the credit card company sends over all that information to the credit bureaus, which are ultimately the people in charge of what's on your credit report, by what date, and ultimately where your score is going to be. So if we're spending $5,000 over overall $10,000 credit limit, that's a 50% ratio for our utilization, which, if you didn't know, makes up 30% of our overall credit score. So let's say you had a good month at work, you pay off the $5,000 in full by that due date of February 22nd. Great, there's going to be no late fees, no interest, but technically the damage is already done because the credit bureaus are going to show a 50% utilization because remember, 5,000 out of the 10,000 on the credit card statement is going to be pushed to the credit bureau, and that's what's going to be stamped on your credit report. And that leads us to credit utilization because credit utilization is the amount of your credit card bill that you're using compared to your overall credit limit that gets reported on the statement closing date. So technically that's 30% of your score, and if you show a 50% ratio, because remember, you're using 5,000 out of the 10 grand that's offered to you, it's going to bring down your score in a massive way. But the good news, there's ways around this. Because at this point, you're probably wondering, well, Nick, all of this sounds good, but when the heck am I supposed to pay my credit card to best increase my credit score? And I promise I got you. We're going to get into the game plan, but before I do that, smash that subscribe button if you're enjoying this video so far. I upload videos every single week to help you make more, save more, and raise your credit score. So I appreciate the subscribe in advance. Step 1 is to find your statement closing date. In my example right here, mine's February 18th, 2026. Write this down, not the due date, but your statement closing date. Every statement has it, so make sure to look carefully. Simply write yours down. Step 2 is to set an automatic minimum payment due on your payment due date, which mine will be April 14th, because let's say that you're traveling or you get sick or the kids have to go to soccer practice and you quite frankly forget to make the payment. At least you're safe because you paid by the due date and you're avoiding any possible late fees. Pro tip is to always set the automatic payment from your checking account and not from your actual debit card, because again, if your debit card gets lost, at least they could track it back to your checking account and the payment would always technically be made. Which brings us to bonus tip number 1, which is late fee versus a late payment. Now, most people use this term interchangeably, but that's a big mistake because they are technically completely different. A late fee is technically what you avoid by paying your bill by the due date, meaning your credit card company can charge, let's call it a $30 or $40 late fee if you pay it a few days late. A late payment in terms of your credit card and the credit report is also a little bit different. So I'm going to take this a bit slow. Late payment to your credit card could mean anything after the due date. It could be a day, it could be 2, it could be 3 days. Now, what most people don't realize is most credit card companies have what's called a grace period. So they don't report an actual late payment to the credit bureau, which means your credit report, which will actually hurt you until it's 30 days or more late. Now, obviously, every credit card is different, but most of the big banks have a 30-day grace period and don't report it late to the credit bureaus until it's 30 days or more late. And again, most people use that term the wrong way, so drop a comment if you knew that, or drop a comment if you just learned that. Step 3 is to make your real payment 2 to 3 days before the statement closing date, and you're probably thinking, well, Nick, why the heck would I make it 2 to 3 days before and not on the actual date? Good question. So it takes a few days for a payment to clear. Most payments are ACH transfer. It could take 1, 2, or even 3 business days. I always do it 2 to 3 days before to make sure the payment clears and shows the proper reflected balance. And as far as how much to pay down, I always recommend to pay as much as possible and as close to 0 as possible, but there is technically a magic number to report as far as utilization to bring your score as high as possible, which we will touch on at the next part of this section. But first, I want to finish giving you this exact roadmap. Step 4 would be to let the card breathe. Do not use it for 2 to 3 days because, again, you want the payment to not only clear, but you want the balance to properly be reflected that you paid down some sort of balance to the actual credit bureaus. Again, I understand not everyone's in a situation to have a second card, but I highly recommend using a second card in the meantime until that balance is properly reflected. And step number 5 is pay off whatever is left by your actual due date to again avoid late fees and avoid any crazy amount of interest charges. But we can't stop there because the crazy part is there are certain percentages to pay down the card to maximize your credit score. Yes, I know it sounds pretty crazy, but it really is the truth. So let's break it down. So here's the breakdown that I'll read off right behind me, which is from FICO, which is the leading credit score platform and data supplier. Now, I always like to preface this is I personally like to pay it down, as you could see on my statement, as close to 0 as possible, because technically when it comes to a psychological standpoint, I just like to have no bills and a very low amount of debt. That's how I operate. Some people are okay with carrying a major balance and then paying it down in increments and are fully able to obviously withstand that and have the capacity. I'm a little bit different, so when it comes to the specifics, you always do what works best for you. But as far as optimizing it to get the highest credit score impact, 0% utilization gives you most of the points because that shows you are most responsible. It's very important to note that some models actually don't like 0%. It's true. They like a few utilization points, 1 to 9%. Because they say, based on a 0%, technically the bank is never making money off you. And as you probably know, this is America, and they're incentivized to make money off of you. So you could kind of figure out what I'm trying to say there. But at the end of the day, 0 to 9% or 0 to 10%, anything under 10% is very safe and will give you the maximum credit score points. On the other hand, 10 to 29%, meaning under 30%, is also what I consider the gold standard. You're using a little bit of debt, but it's still technically a healthy ratio, and it won't impact your score as much as most people probably think. 30 to 50%, now we have a lot of work to do. That's probably dragging down your score anywhere from 50 to 100 points on a month-to-month basis. And over 50%, then there's a lot of things you can do to move around money on paper to hopefully increase your credit score. Because at that point, over 50%, you're using a lot of your available credit, and you're going to be a significant decrease on your overall credit score. At the end of the day, under 10% is what I consider to be very good. Now, it's very important to note, so please listen carefully. This is each credit card individually, but when it comes to your actual credit report, they take a collective ratio. So let's say you have 10 credit cards, you're spending 5 grand on one, zero on the rest. It's still going to show a $5,000 balance on your credit report, and they're going to add up all your credit limits and then take the 5,000 and divide it by that, and that's where you're going to get your overall utilization. So what I'm trying to say is don't max out one card with a super high limit and then you have a bunch of small limits that you're not using. Your overall utilization may still be relatively high, which will ultimately bring down your credit score. At the end of the day, paying your credit card on time and in full is always the best way to avoid fees and maximize your credit score. Now, some people obviously have other things going on, like past late payments, collections, charge-offs, and much more. And as a thank you for reaching this point in the video and showing your support, I am offering a free credit strategy evaluation to help you boost your credit score and give you a clear plan to build it back. It's completely free. You can access that at the pinned comment below. The only thing to keep in mind, obviously limited spots. I can't help every single person because I'm busy making videos and running my own business. But if you choose to do it, I look forward to speaking with you. And as always, thank you so much for the support. Check out these two videos right here. YouTube thinks would be best for you. And until next time.